Yorp Tune on Reddit. Are there any reasons not to transfer to a keg and cold crash after final gravity is reached? Anything that might happen at room temp on the yeast and hop sludge that won't cold in the keg? Are there any reasons to not? Okay. So here's the deal. There's a couple of things that need to happen. Sometimes people will watch for the bubbling to stop in the fermenter, out of their airlock or whatever. And they'll see that stop and they want to crash it right away. I would give it a little bit more time. There are things that are happening post that active blow off, and also active blow off is not necessarily the best way to judge that. So let's say, for instance, that you are, I see this a lot of times with lagers. You start off fermentation cold at 50 degrees. And at that lower temp, CO2 goes into solution much more readily, right? Like you can't carb hot beer. You're gonna have a hard time doing that. But cold beer is gonna soak up that is gonna soak up that gas. So if you're ramping up your ferment on a lager, which I do in order to help it finish out in a timely fashion, in order to push off sulfur, in order to get through diacetyl, things like that, I will finish my lagers up at 65, and I will be past terminal and past all the other things I'm about to talk about, but there's still gas expressing out of the tank. And that's because there's this gas in solution that now at a higher temperature is able to slowly escape. And so I'll still see some activity. So it's not always the best judge. But yeah, stable gravity for a few days in a row, definitely. And then beyond that, you want to be able to do a VDK test or a diacetyl test. A diacetyl test, just in a nutshell for me, is I pull a sample off of a fermenter. I run it, I heat it, and what I'll do is I put it in I put mine in like a Nalgene water bottle and seal up the top, a few inches deep, whatever. And then I heat that up. Some people do microwave. I don't. I do it with hot water. I'll run hot liquor tank water slowly into a container that's holding it for 20 minutes, a half hour. And that'll heat that up. And then you open that up and then you smell. Now it's crazy. Don't dive your nose in there because there's a lot of alcohol coming off. There's a lot of unpleasant stuff, but kind of smell above it. And if you get butter coming up out of that, raising the temperature in a closed environment like that helps to get the diacetyl out of solution and into the headspace. That's where the seal comes into place. Then you open the seal and you can smell if it has that movie theater style or that toffee type aromatic in there. If you're still in that stage, you need to give it more time, because what will happen is yeast will consume all the sugar that it can, and it will produce other non-desirable flavors, other non-desirable compounds, let's say that. And some of those non-desirable compounds are taken back up once it is devoid of having a sugar source. Okay. So you do want to give it a little bit of time. I also like to, if I can, allow fermentation to creep up a little bit towards the end. I think that helps to facilitate that. And it's one of the reasons why you just don't want to slam that beer down as soon as you see the airlock stop popping, because there could be some other things that the yeast could still be cleaning up. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're going to maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.